Welcome to a special episode of Loving You this new year. This is a time that is famous and infamous for New Year's resolutions. And today we're going to delve into New Year resolutions for couples, setting goals, achieving those goals, and supporting each other on the journey. With me, I have a lovely couple. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having us, Anele.
Yeah. Kindly introduce yourselves.
My name is Nikita Makwana. So the man sitting beside me here is my husband. Professionally, I'm a lecturer focusing in the field of Chinese studies. I also am an intercultural strategist and do transformational coaching.
All right. My name is Mompoloki Makwana. I'm a professional development coach, training corporates on high performance culture, as well as a businessman running an enterprise, Prime Coaching, Employee Africa, and Prime Publishers. I'm also the co-host of the Makwanas Podcast, Building Families and Transforming Lives.
So how's the new year been so far? Personally, I think it's flying.
Yeah, no, true.
I think it's different things for different people, isn't it?
Yeah.
But for us, really, we've been actually sharing that a lot using our platforms that we are people helped by God.
Yeah.
So it's been a great start, and we are hoping and believing that there is just more in store for us and somebody at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're talking New Year's resolutions. So what are your individual New Year's resolutions? You're a couple, but you also have your own personal interests, your own personal dreams and desires. What are your individual New Year's resolutions? And are there any that you have, any shared goals that you have as a couple?
Yeah.
Amazing. I think I'll give that to the head of the family to start it, isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah, we are a product from our church where we come from, Royal Assemblies International Ministries, and we are a product of a program called Love Train, which is building families and connecting families. From before even we got married, we've been a product of that. And we have seen what you just talked about as individuals. There's a teaching that I remember very well, singleness in marriage.
Yeah.
That's within a marriage institution, you are still an individual with aspirations and dreams. She is an individual with aspirations and dreams.
Yeah.
On my side, I told her I want to do more traveling and looking at the area of Ghana, Kenya, and the Kingdom of Swatini, doing business-wise, and also writing more books. I've written so many books that some of them I've released. We have released only 5, so I want to release more books this year. A new book coming, they should expect it. And the other goal is just to make sure that I'm very supportive to her with the goals that she's having right now. She will share them herself.
For me, really, it has been more of, I called it a year of growth for me. I mean, every single year, people set resolutions, but maybe for me it's different. I set what I call growth plan. So my growth plan is focused on how can I grow as an individual, and this growth plans being set looking at the fact that my life has diversified over time, as a professional, as a mother, as a wife. These are different fields, and in each one of them there is a way I need to grow, to advance. So really it's on learning more, reading more, studying more. So I think those would be my resolutions for this year.
You already finished your first book for the year.
Yeah, halfway through my second one.
We're not even far to the That's fantastic.
Yeah.
As a unit, what shared goals do you have?
All right. Currently, we are working on different projects. As a family, we run several businesses, close to 4. We are working together on striking a balance and building a team. We already have some people working, so we are hiring more people. So it's a call for hiring now. We are hiring more people. Number 2, we are going to do a lot of traveling, especially with content production for upscale media. We are also working together to, one of the things maybe is spending more time together. We realize that we work and think a lot, even outside. Now, even when we are inside the home, it's a lot of business. I have this idea. We're always having ideas. Being able to strike that balance, I think will really be a wonderful, wonderful thing for us to do more.
I think he has actually captured it very well, because when you are doing work, especially if you run businesses, right? Sometimes, especially if both of you are in that same field, you find it a bit challenging actually to separate between business and home, especially when the office actually is home. So for us this year, the focus has been how do we strike a balance with running a business in our premises and just allowing ourselves to have days and times where we don't talk about business. I think we recently had a conversation around that. I feel like, can we just stop having this discussion? Can I get some rest? Just balancing between that. It will be, it is our focus for the year.
What are ways that you as a couple, what do you anticipate might be a challenge other than separating that balance between work life and family life?
The Bible says two is better than one. When one falls, the other can raise. And I've seen my professional journey as a single man, and now as a married man, we're cruising nicely, because of the support beyond just, I support you, hubby, I'm praying for you, she's a spiritual woman, we are spiritual beings, but also with money. Okay, I'll buy a flight ticket for you to travel to do your public speaking at Eswatini, like she did last year. So that kind of strike of balance of priority, what are we prioritizing? I think challenges would be resource mobilization. What are we using our resources on the first quarter of the year? So that needs a conversation. If we are not conversing, my wife, if it's an idea, she invests. If she has an idea, I invest. So I think striking a balance between what are we prioritizing the first quarter of the year, what are we prioritizing the second quarter. One of them we already talked about, work-life integration, right? How do we integrate the work beyond just family? We call it work-life balance, we call it work-life integration. Our work is part of our lives, but how can we have more of our lives and do less of work? Like one of the things we talked about, now delegating, her having a personal assistant, I having my personal assistant to work on what we are working, the project we are working on, the events we are hosting. So I think that's maybe part of the challenges and solution.
Amazing. And also just to acknowledge that both of us sitting here, we are different people, So of course, you hear things like you have to bring 50-50 or you have to bring 100 into the home and the family. That's something that maybe when you scroll through the social media, it's like, he has to bring 100 and make sure that you come at 100. But the truth of the matter is sometimes somebody's not able to bring 100 in the projects that we are doing or in the resolutions and the goals that we had set, not because they are not willing to, but because they are facing challenges. It comes, we're emotional beings, we get affected by these things, but just to be able to accommodate the seasons in somebody's life when they're going through something and you have maybe decided that, okay, this year we're going to travel to 6 countries and you're noticing, it's already halfway through the year. That has not happened, and you see that your partner is lagging behind because of those kind of issues. So I think we should be open to understanding that when you are setting those goals or making those growth plans, anticipate that you are dealing with a different person here and just be willing to embrace difference, not only embracing it to harbor a problem in the house, but what is it that I can do to help this person so that we can journey together.
And in those personal struggles, how do you come to a compromise? There might be situations where, how do you know when to compromise for both of you?
I think love, covers all sins. And loving your person, you make sacrifices. I've seen us make a transition from Gaborone to stay in Palape. I've seen us make a transition to having 2 homes, Gaborone and Palape. This was decisions, sitting down and say, listen, we can't say we stay in Palape and we're doing most business here. We have our team here. And we can't say now we are starting businesses in Palape. We can't say no, we are staying in Gaborone. So we sit down and having those conversations, honest conversations. Look, these are our aspirations. And along the way, we planned that the first year we will do this. But now let's move our resources into this new project. I can remember a real life, maybe example. Towards the end of the year, we thought we were closed for the year, now we are traveling. And I told her, no, I want to implement this idea of Employee Africa Summit, where we were hosting African people. And she said, okay, so now we can't use the money for traveling. Then let's invest in the summit. And it was a success.
So how do you manage your emotions within those situations?
We have an effective church that we go to. And we are really connected to our spiritual parents. For me, fortunately, first it was my coach, and now transition as my spiritual parent. When you have someone that you account to, is different. And most of the time when you grew up in an environment where they are not even fathers, you understand? I grew up without a father there, but having him now as my father, after 27 years of you as knowing that you don't have a father, the transition now to have someone to account to has made me a better man. And I've seen the shift from, oh, I'm a self-made man, to realizing that I have someone that I have to report to. And that has governed and helped me to become a better lover, and helped me to become a better communicator, helped me to become a better accountable person to her. And her, because she has been growing up in an environment where she was groomed in the spiritual side, staying with them, and now me coming to learn those things has made things much better.
That's I didn't expect you to go that route. I feel like a lot of times when, especially here in our country, we like doing things for ourselves. You know, when you go to other countries, you'll find out that people do research before they embark into anything. People learn.
Yeah.
They carry out researches. If they want to get married, they carry out research. They go for counseling. They value the importance of having a coach, which I feel, in my experience, remember also I'm a transformational coach, so I deal with people. I'm a lecturer. I deal with people. And I understand that in the culture that we have in our country, people want to just do things for themselves, but it's very important to have people that are able to groom you, and not that they are there, isn't it? They are just there. You willing to listen to those people and to submit to the teaching, and also to submit even to the things that you are learning by yourself. The last thing that I want to touch on with that managing your emotions, etc., is you have to understand that this is my friend. This is somebody that at the end of the day I'm going to share the same bed with, you know. And I'm doing this life thing with this person. So just the consciousness, even during those tense moments, it's very critical to help you control how you speak, because I feel like the emotions are there, but what is really important is how you react based on how you're feeling.
Last time I asked you this question, and we were studying a book. It says your husband or your wife is not the devil.
Yeah.
And you said a very powerful revelation about don't affect the relationship while you are facing a challenge. And most people, she said, you'll rather fight the relationship, and now when the challenge is resolved, you have to apologize.
Yeah.
So that was a great revelation for me to say, when we are faced with a challenge, she is my wife before the challenge.
Yeah.
When we are faced with any decision, she is my wife before the challenge, because things tend to work out.
Over time.
And when you are connected and in agreement, we've seen more things becoming better for us when we are in agreement than when someone is saying, no, I'll do it myself.
On my own.
It does not work, okay? But agreement sometimes is what sets the tone of things happening.
Yeah.
And you've spoken about the things that you want to achieve in the first half of the year and in the year in general. How important how do you go about creating those timelines together as a couple?
Yeah.
Once you get married, things change. And you know, I remember one time somebody, when I was preparing to get married, they said this to me, Miss Grace, Esther Grace, and she said she's somebody who really mentored me before I got married. And she said, before you get married, no matter how many times we tell you about some things, they don't make sense until you get there.
Yeah.
You know, so one of the things is you understand when people tell you two shall become one. Once you change your name, all these things, the individuality part of it just dies. I remember I before we got married, I was just returning from China, and I had plans to go back, you know, to complete my studies, because by then I was still studying. And I managed to complete when I'm here. I wanted to go back and pursue things, right? But I have him in my life, you know, so when I make those kind of decisions, they don't just come and say, oh, I want to go, I'm packing my bags, I'm going. And he can say, oh, no, yeah, it's fine, you can go. I mean, you should have those honest conversations. I know a lot of people, that's not what they want to hear. But once you get married, there are certain adjustments that you should learn to make. To say, I want to do this is what I want to achieve. But where does that put my person? Where does that put us as a family? Because we are doing this thing together. Even if I don't do it now, can I push it a little bit to a year later 2 years later so that we can achieve this. So basically, when you get married, things change, priorities change, you know.
And the timelines is no longer
the timeline is no longer your own. Yeah.
I'm checking with your schedule. Can I schedule this meeting? Can I go for this meeting on a Saturday? So I think communication to address the how do you set timelines is the communication, prior communication. Listen, I have this planned for June. I have this planned for August. Can we be able to work together? So we're taking another trip. We're talking about Rwanda, where she was doing some training for an IT company. And I wanted to go there to benchmark, especially on the agricultural sector. So being able to communicate that in advance and knowing how we can do both of us. It's not only one person going, because that thing of a wife remaining home is not something she said she subscribed for. We are all going out there to work together, and that's for me. That's what I want as well. It was in my wish list. So communication in advance. So right now we do have plans. We already know what we are doing in the second quarter of the year, the third quarter of the year. There will be changes, of course, but they don't push the main core of what we want to implement. So that is that.
So there's this idea that the habits that you have feed into where you want to go.
True.
So you've got targets, you've got goals.
Absolutely.
So what habits are you trying to establish to make sure those goals happen?
Yeah. Hey, she's doing a lot this year, especially on habits. I think she can share.
I think that habits play a massive role in what you become in life. Recently, I launched a mentorship program, the Unconventional Circle, where I help people on how to change their lives. But if you can sit and watch the work that I do, I focus on how to change your habits. There are certain habits that I had to change to be where I am financially, spiritually, in different aspects of my life. So one of the things that I do personally is I'm a reader. I read a lot. If you met me maybe 6-7 years ago, that wasn't me. I wouldn't read. I actually wanted to finish school and then throw my books away, and it has nothing to do with them, right? But with time, as you grow, you actually realize that growth requires you to be a reader, to learn, to submit yourself to information. And that is something that I have done over the years. It has not only helped me in terms of boosting what I know. I am an educator. It changes my life. Now I'm even able to teach other people that. I don't think if I had not built those habits, if I have not invested that much in myself, I'll be doing that. And I don't think I'll be likable to my husband, because I married somebody who reads, who is big on development. So there are some habits that I had to change when I met him so that I don't remain behind, you know. Just recognizing what he does and deciding, okay, this is the guy. I feel like, we are going somewhere here, but what am I doing with my life? Would I fit in his tomorrow? And finding ways that I can boost myself to just wake up, to have a sense of agency, to say, I know I'm a professional, I do 1, 2, 3, but I've seen this guy doing the training. What is it that I need to do so that when he goes for training, he just doesn't introduce me like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is my wife, and then I turn around and then I sit, So I was like, I have to be an unconventional person, and I had to learn how to speak, how to be bold, how to be expressive, and just fitting in his schedule, rightfully so.
And how do you encourage one another on your journey?
I think maybe just to respond to that one, sometimes encouragement doesn't come with, hey, papi, let us wake up early. It works, but not that much. I can't remember the last time I woke up after 4:30 or latest 5, and it just rubs into the person.
Yep.
You can't stay with somebody who reads and then you remain the same unless there is a problem that I feel can be dealt with, Yeah, so it's just that rubbing of good things, and also understanding that good things can be copied. When you stick around people who are developing themselves, before you know it, you do the same.
Yeah.
And I know maybe somebody's watching me at home and say, Kana nama, my husband, 𝐀𝐛𝐨𝐿𝐤𝐢𝐭, he's always putting on this red pants forever. I feel like once we get married, we start complaining about maybe those things that we saw before we get married. And when we're making those kind of transitions and things like that, we want people to quickly jump into that. Sometimes it's very important for you to allow people time to grow and not to even interrupt their growth journey. Allow them to grow. And yes, the process. And don't rub the habits and the good things into their face. Like, I'm waking up at 4:30 and you are the man, you're waking up at 9. Don't rub it on them. There is always a way of teaching, I believe. and sometimes people don't learn by speaking to them. People learn by
Behavior speaks
by
volumes.
behavior. Yeah.
Yeah, behavior speaks volumes, and there are certain things that I know when we met in a relationship that she didn't think she would do, but with going with me, going corporate training, I found her now, even now engaging people, engaging teams, and even now helping me to change my teaching system, where we sit down with people instead of just lecturing, we sit down and have conversations. So behavior speaks volumes than just telling people. I normally say, even in my book, What Amazing Employees Do, I said when you talk to people, they talk back. You give them a platform. But when you behave, behavior speaks more volume. When people see you change, when your brother, your mother, your brother from your own mother, when they see your money move from 5,000 to 1 million, trust me, it sends a stronger message than, hey, wake up and get to find a job.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you put it well.
Yeah.
Now, when you do hit the wins, how do you celebrate? And for you, what is the importance of celebrating those wins?
We say small steps, great distances. For us, every day is a celebration. Just her preparing great breakfast, I will compliment right away. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is getting her roses. Not like every day, but being able to celebrate consistently, being able to celebrate the woman she is, being able to celebrate our ideas. Sometimes our pursuit to greatness has nothing to do with, we'll reach and celebrate. We enjoy through the steps. We enjoy the journey. We enjoy evolving with the journey. So it's an element of embedded gratitude, I think, where you are approaching the day with God. I know you have best plans for me. I know you have best plans for our marriage. The statements you use a lot is, we are a people helped by God. And every day we wake up to see how far we can go. Not how far we hit, then it becomes our defining point. No, we know we are great people already. We know we are successful people already. What we are doing has nothing to do with tampering with that. And so I think sometimes the challenge, it becomes now, people allow how far they go to define them, how far they went to define them, the fight they had yesterday to define the confidence for them to sit before here and have a conversation. No, it does not have to be like that. We had a conversation in the morning what I should wear. I wanted to wear something casual. No, making a deal. But I have to come here and deliver what God has placed in my heart. So that is that.
That's very interesting. I know that we usually also put like dates and time to celebrate and to do all these things. I feel like maybe it's because we are living under a world that has taught us to do that. You wait for Christmas to go and buy yourself clothes. You wait for the New Year. You wait for your birthday, and even for Valentine's Day, and sometimes you're even counting on people to get you gifts and presents. You don't plan it. We have trained ourselves to wait to be celebrated. One of the things that I've seen really working for me personally, even before I met my husband, he found me doing that, and I feel like it was one of the greatest things I've done for myself, and I've shown him. Is how I appreciate myself. My husband has seen me going out getting things for myself. So when I ask him maybe to get me something, or when he goes to the shop to get me something, he has an idea of how to celebrate me, whether for what I did, what we have achieved, or who I have been to him, and maybe just being grateful for God sustaining us. So I feel like that's a very important aspect. Don't celebrate on particular days. Cultivate a habit of celebration. And secondly, don't limit celebration to material things. One of the best things that can ever happen for you, Z, is to have somebody who affirms you. Affirmations, telling you are beautiful, that's celebration. And sometimes we want just flowers. Flowers can come in a form of words. So, and they can come anytime.
Any final words for young couples or couples that will be watching, and just to encourage them in their journey in New Year's resolutions and goal setting for the year?
I know we've been using the word resolutions a lot, and most of you at home, you have seen the word resolution. But let me tell you, based on my experience, both as being a human being, secondly, and also being somebody who deals or works with people like you who want to change and transform your lives. Set what I call a growth plan. Everybody can wake up in the morning and say, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be in a better financial stage. I want to grow. Those are vague goals. Those are vague resolutions. What is very important for you is to, first of all, go and identify what area of my life do I need to transform. If you are somebody that is fighting with confidence, you can't speak boldly, what materials can I read so that I can get better in this field? And who can I find to do that? My husband and I actually run a program called Master Public Speaking. So finding such kind of resources. And secondly is understanding that your growth and how you develop in life has a massive impact on who you end up with in life. You know, we attract people, our energy are attracting people. So when you set up yourself for growth, you're setting up yourself for success. So if you're somebody who's not married, work on yourself, develop yourself, be confident that you're going to find the right person. And as you find the right person, make sure that you stay consistent, you grow with them, you don't remain behind.
Yeah, they normally say you are God sent for me and I'm God sent for you. I'm God sent and growth set. My growing has allowed the accomplishment to allow the blessings that I find in my life.
Yeah.
My last words is this: when you develop yourself and you grow, you become a blessing to people around you.
Yeah.
When you don't develop yourself and you don't grow, you become a curse. Don't be a curse.
Yeah. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, and all the best for this new year. Every year, every month, every day, every moment is an opportunity to do better, and with the right intention, being intentional, having the right mindset, the right plan, support systems, all things are possible. All the best for this 2024. God bless.